Hey everyone, it's Nicole D'Agostino. I am the narrator, my life, my dreams, my story. Welcome back to One Piece of Me. I wanted to tell you guys that I am getting so good with my Nami deck. So I run Nami as a leader in the card playing game, and I do travel around to different tournaments to play against other people. It is a lot of fun, but I wanted to just go through and show you what I am using in my deck. So I have 4 Mr. 1s. These are great as counters or as giveaway cards. I actually use these cards sometimes to trash when I need to. They come in candy when I need an extra 1,000 counter on them. So I run 4 Mr. 1. I also run 4 of a piece. A piece is a 2,000 counter, and she also has the ability to search for an East Blue card. I do have to trash 2 cards from my hand if I'm going to do this. Most of the time, I only use her for the 2K counter, and if I have to trash her out of my hand because it's not something I'm going to play, then I do that as well. I also run, and it's an absolute necessity, to run 4 Kayas. Kaya is great because the goal of Nami is to get rid of all the cards in her deck. So this card only costs 1 Dawn to play. She gets to draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards. And there are cards in the deck that actually, once you play her down, they bring her back to your hand so that you can continue to play her back and forth. This is an absolute staple. A lot of times when I'm first taking my 5 cards in the beginning and drawing my first 5 cards, if I don't have a Kaya in my hand right off the bat, I take a mulligan. So this is definitely a staple. And of course, this is just the most beautiful card. I just love her. Also, I run Gaimon. Gaimon is a great card because it only costs 2 to play. I use him to put down on my board and play him because if he's on the board and my leader takes a life from my opponent, not only does she get to get rid of a card, but she also gets to use Gaimon, put him in her trash, and then he gets to activate her ability to take an additional 3 cards off of her deck. So this is really helping to get her deck down. It also, like I says, it comes in handy when you need another counter for 1,000, or if you need a card to trash that you're not really going to play him. But another great card in my deck. These were cards that were just recently added to my deck when I was making some changes. This is Nojiko, and we just talked about her in the last episode. She is Nami's adoptive sister. So Nojiko is actually a great card because when you play her, you have the ability to send another character on your opponent's board with a 5 cost or less back to their hand. So if they've played a blocker or they have, a heavy hitter on board, you can send it back to their hand after, it's your turn to play. And that prevents them from being able to use it to attack on you. Also very, very important in the deck is Zeph. Zeph is a great card because he's only 5 Dawn cost. He has 6,000 power. He also has 1,000 counter, so you can really use him wherever you need to in the moment of your turn. There are 4 of them in the deck, so if you don't get a chance to play all of them, when you're getting them, also it's a great one, like I said, to discard if you know there's more coming. But what's great about him is if you put an additional Dawn on him, you get to, if you take a life from your opponent, you get to mill 7 additional cards from your deck. So basically, he's really great for being played down. He takes out an opponent's character, or you can even take a character that is 3 or less cost and send it back to your hand or the owner's hand. So sometimes when I play this card, if there's a Kaya down, I take her back to my hand, and then the card lets me get rid of 2 cards. So this is a very good, very powerful card. If you can at least get 1 or 2 hits on your opponent where you get to mill 7 cards out, it's fantastic. I also play 2 Soj Kings. We'll put that down here. Soj King is a great card because what this card does is it allows you to play it down, and then you can remove a character with a cost of 6 or less to the owner's hand. So again, you can use that to send a Kaya back to your own hand, or if somebody plays down a character with a cost of 6 or less, you can get rid of that card and send it back to their hand as well. Nami needs to be very, very heavy on the event card. cards. The event cards are really what save her. The triggers on them allow you to discard cards, counter attacks. So I'm very heavy with the event cards, and I will show you the first one that I have in here is Usopp's Rubber Band of Doom. When you play that card down, it gives your leader or character card additional 2,000 power, and it also gets rid of a card for you as well. I also use Desert Spada, which gives your life an additional 2,000 as well, and then you can look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, and you get to put them back in any order, either on the top or the bottom of your deck, and that's also really great and has a great trigger. I also play Gum Gum Gavel. You trash a card from your hand in order to play this card, but you also get 4,000 power added to your life or character, and then you also get to discard or mill 2 cards off the top of your deck. Also, these triggers, if you're taking them from your life and you're able to play them, they actually can count. Their counters can be to return the opponent's character back to their hand. Another favorite card that returns a character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand is Brick Fist, and I play 2 of them in my deck. Whoops, that's not Brick Fist. I have 3 of them. 3 Brick Fists. And this is a great card. I love when it comes up. Again, if my opponent has some heavy hitters on their side that they're going to attack me with, I can send it back to their hand, and that also helps me on the attack. I also, let's see. Actually, nope. Take that back. I have a 4th Brick Fist in there. So 4 of those, 4 Usopps, 3 Desert Spadas, the Gum Gum Giant Gavel, and then I also play the Love Love Mellow, and this allows me to also give additional power to my characters. So 3 Love Love Mellows. There is no trigger on this card, so sometimes I actually do use this one as a trash card. One of the cards that gives you a little bit more power if you're able to get them out and play, or if there's a trigger that's used on it, it's called Deathwink. And Deathwink gives your leader or your character an additional 6,000 power. It also, if you get it as a trigger, sends a character with a cost of 7 or less back to the owner's hand. And as you know, when you see some of those big heavy hitters come out and they're like 8 and 9 and 10k drops, and it's cost 6 or 7 dawns to play them, those are the ones that I love to get that and trigger it back to their hand. I also play 2 Gum Gum Red Rocks, and basically what this does is it takes any card on the board and it basically puts it to the bottom of the owner's deck. So I love this card because if you get hit with like a Charlotte Lin Lin or a Big Mom, pirate card that's got like 8k, 10k, 12k hit, there's a lot that Nami can do, but there's a lot she can't do. So this is a great card to have in your hand to be able to get rid of that on your opponent's board. And then last but certainly not least, one of the favorite cards that I love to draw, and I have 4 of them in my hand, is Sanji's Pilaf. And when you get Sanji's Pilaf, you basically get to just draw 2 cards and keep them in your hand. Unlike Kaya, where you're drawing 2 cards and then you're trashing 2 cards from your hand, it can sometimes be a hard decision to make. But like I said, with Sanji's Pilaf, the trigger is basically to activate the main event, and the main event is to draw 2 cards. So again, you've got 4 of those. And that is basically my Nami deck. I wanted to share it with you. I know there's a couple of ways that your decks can be run, but this one seems to be working really well. So I just want to say I have not won first place at tournaments with it, but that could also be user error. I am getting better and better at it, and this actually is a great, great deck for me personally to play with. And that's the cool thing, is that you're designing these decks based upon how you play the game. So that's it. That's the Nami leader. Thank you so much for tuning in to another One Piece of Me.